Hello and welcome. This character profile video is for the class Archer, and what you'll see is all of his skills, the top 8 PvE and PvP skills that I recommend, his skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you the class Archer. Here we go. Welcome to the skills screen. So if this is your first time being here, allow me to explain the interface. On the far left are the names of all the skills. To the right of that is charges, which is how many times you can use the skill. The next one is hits, which is how many times that skill will hit a creature or opponent. The next one is damage-PvE, which is the highest percentage damage that it will do against a creature in the world. And then the next column is damage-PvP, which is the highest percentage damage that it will do against another player. And then of course specials on the far right is the special effects that come with the skill. So for example, lethal spread at the very top inflicts knockback on the last hit. So it hits 6 times, so on the 6th hit it'll knock the creature or player back. So that's how that works. And there's a few other things to explain on this screen. For example, super armor is colored red. This means it's not applied in arena, but when you're out of the arena, yes, it will work. And the max 12 or 2 attacks that you see in green, that is letting you know there is a maximum of that many attacks for that skill. I don't know if they mean to say it's how many times you can attack like charges, but I'll let you figure that out. It's a terminology thing. So I wanted to leave it. It's there, and when you enjoy the character, you can figure out, oh, that's what this means. At the very bottom where it says focus shot, this is a passive skill, and I highlighted in green the skills it affects. So if you look at the skill list on the left, you see all the ones that are colored green. So your passive skill affects these 4 skills: Concentrated Blast, Scatter Shot, Luminous Barrage, and Radiant Barrage. So the details of how you activate it and what it does is listed there. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the top 8 PvE skills I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvE slide. So what I've done is I've taken all the skills and I organized it according to the column of damage-PvE. And what it shows is Concentrated Blast is the highest percentage damage skill that you have. However, there are some that you should be aware of. For example, if you look in the middle of the skills at Snapshot, you see how I have listed 433.2%, but it you can use that 4 times. So if you happen to hit it for your opponent 4 times at that percentage, the output is going to be much better, and it'll probably be among the top 3 or 4 for you. So consider that. And also lethal spread, which is not highlighted, it hits 6 times at 267.9%. So that could equal a 1,200+% damage if all 6 hits connect. So these are things to be aware of, but the top 8 that I recommend are highlighted and shown below. And take a moment to look at all this. These are simply recommendations for you to try them out, see what you think. If you like them, feel free to mix and match what works best for you and your play style. It's a starting point of, well, I don't know what skills to choose. Just go with the ones that hit the hardest and work your way down, and over time you'll get comfortable with what works for you. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the PvP top 8 that I recommend. Here we go. And welcome to the PvP slide. So it's time to get serious and talk about what PvP you can do. So looking at this slide, let's start at the top, which is Concentrated Blast is your hardest hitting, along with Radiant Barrage next. However, the super armor, which is very important to a person who does PvP, is not with you if you're in arena. So the recommendation is to start out your combination of skills with Bolt Storm. It will give you the super armor, you can't be grabbed, and it also inflicts bound on hit. So it gives you time while you get your super armor buff on you. And if for some reason you're just like, I don't know if I have it attached to me, the super armor, then follow it up with Luminous Barrage, which has super armor. I know it's not one that I highlighted, but it says it has a max of 12 attacks, and it does the super armor and inflicts knockdown for every 4 hits, so you can be confident that you definitely have the super armor protection. And then you can follow up with your hardest hitting, which is Concentrated Blast or Radiant Barrage. Why would you do this? Because your passive skill, it says right next to the word passive, applies focused shot for 20 seconds when using skills 2 times. And if you started out with Bolt Storm and then Luminous Barrage to make sure you have your super armor, that's 2 skills. So when you hit him with your Concentrated Blast, the passive should kick in and be there for you, which is all skill damage is increased by 10%, and then the various effects that happen for it, which you can read there what they are. But that would be a recommendation for people who do PvP, is to start out with those 2 skills for your passive, and then hit them hard with your hardest hitting skills, and then go back and refresh your super armor so that you are constantly having it on. That's the secret, as you know, for people who play PvP. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll go ahead and go to the combo screen for the archer. Here we go. And welcome to the skill combo screen. So when you are in the game and you tap on skills and you're looking at on the skills tab, you're looking at the left side where there's a magnifying glass icon, and you tap on that, you're gonna see this list of skill combos. What I've done is I presented it to you here so it's all part of the package. So when you see it without having to scroll up or down, they're showing you that if you choose to use Snapshot, then connect it with Luminous Barrage or connect it with Radiant Barrage. They're giving you ideas on how to combo on a monster or another player. So these are skills to try to be the most effective when you're out there fighting. So if you're wondering, this is definitely what PA recommends. So take a moment to look at this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the enhancements for the archer. Here we go. And welcome to the enhancement slide. So if you're new to this slide, allow me to explain how it works. On the far left is the skills. On the far right is the branch damage connected to these skills. In the middle are 4 columns, so the first, second, and fourth column are enhancements that do something for you, for your character. The third column is usually an enhancement that does something against the monster or opponent you're fighting. So I try to keep it that way. Sometimes it just doesn't happen because they give me too many things that happen against the opponent. For example, let's look at Fend Off. The column says target move speed minus 5% for 10 seconds. It's used up, so I had to use the other one to the left of it, target DP minus 20 for 10 seconds. I don't mean that's going to happen to you, that happens to the person or creature you're fighting. So yeah, that's just how this is laid out. So looking at this, I want to point out a few things. First of all, if you look at the third skill from the bottom, Bolt Storm, that is your top 3 skill for PvE and PvP damage. And if you unlock this grants one extra hit, that will be that hit twice. So it's worth your time to make sure you unlock that, because if you look at how much damage it does, you're gonna double it. And I would definitely unlock that if it were me. Luminous Barrage and Radiant Barrage are part of the passive skill, and they have a flow, which is another skill you unlock on top of it, so it does double damage. So Luminous Barrage, it does the same damage, the flow does the same damage as Luminous Barrage. It's an additional attack. It has super armor and knockdown, so it's worth your time to unlock this and the one for Radiant Barrage, so you can definitely have two skills doing damage against what you're fighting. So take a look at this. One more thing to point out is if you look at Luminous Barrage and you slide your eyes all the way to the fourth column where it says heal 60 hit points per 2 hits, the word heal is colored differently because that means in Path of Glory the heal will not work. So I want you to be aware that's what it means. You'll see this on the player card in the legend for that color, but I want to give you a heads up now. So take a moment to look at all this, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the player card. Here we go. Welcome to the player card slide. So on this slide, this is all the information just about that you've seen previous put together on one slide to look at. It's like a baseball card. If you are short on time, you can say, hey, there's a new character profile video for a new character that came out. Let me just go right over to the player card, check them out. I don't have much time, and see what you like and what you don't like, and then come back and look at the whole video and say, all right, I really like this character. I want to know more. So at the very top is the top 8 PvE and PvP skills I recommend that are highlighted. To the right of that is something new. I call it immobilization. So anytime that you knock down, knock up, knock back, stun, bound, anything that just takes your opponent and stops their animation for a while, immobilizes them. So what I've done is I've listed how many of those you have with each skill. And as you can see, every skill he has, except for Scattershot, has an immobilization into it, which is really nice. So, you know, I tip my hat to Archer for having a way of immobilizing his opponent or her opponent with whatever they throw at someone, again, except for Scattershot. So below all that is all the skills that you saw at the start of the video. Below that is all the enhancements, and then you get to the legend, which is the things that are not applied in Arena and the things that are not applied in Path of Glory, which was the Luminous Barrage. All the way over to the right, the heal it just doesn't apply in Path of Glory. And then finally the definition for what super armor and forward guard is. Now I know that I haven't spoken about forward guard for the Archer with any of his skills, but just so you know, this means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. So if you have a skill with forward guard, it's a very important thing. However, be aware if your opponent gets to the right or left of you or behind you, chances are definitely behind you, they're gonna do damage. You gotta keep them in front of you for forward guard to heavily reduce or make any damage 0. Now on to super armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. This is the reason why everyone who is doing PvP, make sure they cycle super armor in their rotation of skills. So like super armor, hit you hard, super armor, hit you hard, and on in that rotation. so they always make sure that they're protected, refreshing the super armor. I can't tell you how long the super armor lasts because I don't know. So take a look at this, and when you're ready, the music is going to change. We're going to move on to the gameplay video where we show what the archer can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. So before we get started, let's show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at Prawn Castle entrance, and we are here because the enemy is 2519 CP and we are 3249, so I think you'll be okay. And what we have is a auto path in Prawn Castle entrance. It's a place we always go to show off new skills. So he's going to fight for 2 or 3 minutes, and then at the end of that we'll go to town. I will give my outro and say thank you. So without further ado, I give you Archer. Here we go. It's just about time for us to head back into town, so we'll just give it a few seconds here. There we go. And while the loading screen is coming up, allow me to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe, like, let people know. I'm always making more videos and I'm happy to make them for you guys. So we're gonna put him in a spot to showcase him. Found this really neat trick where we put him here, swing the camera around, and it actually zooms in a little bit more like that. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and you have a very nice day. Take care. Bye now.